The stars are right, and that means it's time for another episode of The Whisper in Darkness. I'm your host, the Man from Lang. Thank you very much for joining me today. Hello, Arkham horror fans. This is your game of the day. Remember, you can get in on the fun and tell me which investigator and what scenario you would like me to play by heading over to surveymonkey.com and answering 3 quick questions. Do that, and I will do my best to record that playthrough for you. If you like this sort of content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel a great deal. Before we get started, I'd like to thank the patrons of this channel who have gone above and beyond to bring you content like these playthroughs. If you'd like to support the channel and see your name on this list, head over to patreon.com, sign up for a tier of your choice, and claim your rewards. That would be awesome. Without further ado, let's play some Arkham Horror LCG. On today's Game of the Day, we are continuing our campaign with Astounding Revelation Relic Roland, created by Solo Clue. If you haven't watched the first 2 installments of this campaign, check out the channel. We played Return to Extracurricular Activity, in which we earned 4 experience points, and unfortunately a mental trauma with a late draw of Cover Up, and The House Always Wins, which we earned 3 experience points. That gave us enough to begin upgrading the deck. Solo Clue had suggested in his write-up over on Arkham DB that Stick to the Plan and Segment of Onyx were the way to go. Remember, this deck is compliant with the 2019 taboo list, not the most recent one that jacked the experience point cost of Segment of Onyx. So it only cost us 1 experience point. So for a total of 7, we picked up Stick to the Plan and the 3 copies of Segment of Onyx. We took out the Hallowed Mirror, and the tough decision was what to replace what to make room for the Segment of Onyx. So we ended up taking out Crack the Case. I figure with the Stick to the Plan, we're starting the game with 2 extra resources off of Astounding Revelation. So hopefully that will be that is the right move. Not entirely sure if that is the cards that we replace, but we have some other upgrades once we earn some more experience points. Replacing the Enchanted Blade with its level 3 counterpart. That will be a priority, and we will continue to build the deck as long as we keep playing it here on Game of the Day. So far, it has performed well. We have beaten a couple of scenarios. This one is going to be interesting. There are a lot of High Shroud locations in this particular scenario, and only 1 enemy, which is really not... this deck leans pretty heavily into triggering Roland's ability with his reaction in order to grab clues, and that is going to be very difficult to do with only 1 enemy on the table, unfortunately. So we are going to, with that out of the way, we are going to switch over to Octagon. Just a quick reminder that if you are interested in taking this deck for a spin, I will leave a link to it in the description down below, so you can download it for your virtual tabletop of choice, or you can play it with actual cards. I know that's a thing people do, and you can take it for a spin yourself and see how it works. So let's flip over to Octagon here. We are set up. We have Stick to the Plan in play now. We have our mental trauma. So on Stick to the Plan, we can stack 3 tactic or supply events. So we have Practice Makes Perfect, On the Hunt, and Prepared for the Worst are the 3 that we ended up going with. Of course, when we trigger a Stick to the Plan, we also, it is a Search Your Deck effect, so we can take an Astounding Revelation as well, which we did. So we have 7, we are starting the game with 7 resources, which is pretty nice for a Guardian. Of course, we are here at, we are starting at the museum entrance. It is a 3 shroud location with 2 clues. Investigators cannot gain resources here. And of course, we can resign if we want. We are also here, so our goal here is to We cannot enter the museum halls. Museum entrance gains test 5 combat to attempt to break down the door to the museum. If you are successful, immediately advance to Act 1B. Or we can advance by gathering clues over here on Act 1A, finding a way inside. So that will be our goal. So, without further ado, let us draw our opening hand. I believe I shuffled the deck, so let's just make sure we... does not appear we shuffled the deck, since we drew both weaknesses and 2 copies of Vicious Blow, which would be the bottom cards. So here we go. Shuffle up and draw. All right, well, we end up with 2 copies of Astounding Revelation in our hand. We have Dr. Henry Armitage, which is actually, he's kind of nice. I was, because after you draw a card, you can discard that card and exhaust Henry Armitage to gain 3 resources. It kind of works well with Astounding Revelation, since it doesn't really do anything once you draw it. It's only worth an intellect skill icon. So if we can get Henry on the table and then happen to accidentally draw an Astounding Revelation, we could exhaust him and do it that way and actually get more resources. But as far as opening hands go, this is pretty bad. We don't need the Prepared for the Worst either. We have Henry Armitage and the 45 automatic. We're obviously going to keep the automatic. The question is, do we keep Henry, or do we go for to try to grab our museum curator? I'm not sure why her name is Dr. Ellie Horowitz. Do we go for Dr. Ellie? I kind of like Henry's soak, considering we took that mental trauma. But I think we'll send him on his way, and we will draw 4 cards. We get a segment of Onyx, another Practice Makes Perfect, the disc of Itzamna, and another segment. Okay, so we have 2 of the 3 segments for the segment for the Pendant of the Queen already in our hand. So that's pretty good, I guess. But we don't have a lot of ways to investigate. So we could play... Let's get our 3 actions first off. And then we will attempt to... What do we do here? Let's make it turn 1. So Practice Makes Perfect can probably get us a perception that we need to investigate here. Playing the disc wouldn't be bad, and playing the gun wouldn't be bad. We could try to summon the hunting horror right away, but that would be... we'll probably have to face him a few times this game. I just want to check. So for the duration of the scenario, the following rules apply. While an investigator is resolving the Agenda 1B or Agenda 2B, the forced ability, yeah, so that's just... they closed that loophole when we were using the... when the hunting horror was out. Okay, well, I'm kind of tempted to investigate first, simply because if we draw take the initiative, we can pull that with practice makes perfect. So let's do that. We will spend 1 resource to play practice makes perfect. So we will search the top 9 cards for a practice skill. We can commit to this skill test. We find an astounding revelation. So we'll pull that right away. We're going to gain 2 resources, and we get to take the initiative. That's why we wanted to do this action first, just in case. We drew take the initiative because it's only good in the first. It's quite powerful on the first action. So we are going 6 versus 3 in our first skill test, which is going to be a -4, of course. So that's bad. That is a rough beginning to pull that -4 right off the bat. So after this test ends, if it was successful, add that skill. See, that's the big problem, is we pulled to take the initiative, which we could have used for the second skill test. Unfortunately, we did not succeed. So we don't get to use it again. Man, bad pull right off the bat, putting some pressure on us. We do have another practice makes perfect. We didn't gain our resources. We should. We're up to 8 resources. We've pulled 2 astounding revelations so far, so that's good. If we play the other astounding revelation, we might be able to pull we might be able to get a perception. Let's do it. So we're going to use the practice makes perfect from that is stacked on stick to the plan. We will spend another resource and look at top 9 cards. Who knows, maybe we get our 3rd copy of Astounding Revelation here. We did not get another Astounding Revelation, but we did get the perception we needed. It is practiced, is it not? It is. All right, so now we are going 5v3 for our second action. Chaos Bag says there is the Elder thing we added last scenario. And the Elder thing is -5 if you fail, discard an asset you control. Oh dear. So again, 2 very bad pulls from the Chaos Bag to start off this game, and we are under a ton of pressure. Oh, and we can't gain resources here, can we? So we do not gain those resources to Astounding Revelation. So I will actually, since I can't do that, I'm going to throw that back in my deck, since that would be illegal. I can't gain them here, so I might as well not pull it. So we're down to 5 resources. We play the 45 automatic. Is that the game? Man, this is a really bad start. A very bad start. Let's play the 45 automatic for 4 resources. Just so we have some defense against the hunting horror should it come up. And that's going to be it. So as far as opening turns go, that was one of the, definitely one of the worst. We get Dr. Ellie Horowitz as our, we draw Dr. Ellie Horowitz, so we can try to play, we can try to use her to get the disc. We do not gain a resource. And that is going to be the first turn. Mythos phase. 1 doom of 5. We get Passage into the Veil. Test 3 willpower. If this test has +2 difficulty if the hunting horror is at your location. If you fail, you must either choose one, discard the top 5 cards of your deck, or take 1 direct damage and deal 1 damage to each of your allies. So we are going 3v3. And if we fail, we're discarding 5 cards or taking a direct damage. So we'll just take a damage. Chaos Bag throws us a -1, so we fail. And we will just take a damage, since we have the health to spare. That is going to be the Mythos phase. It is the investigation phase of turn 2. We need to get some clues here, and we do not have a very good way of doing it at the moment. So we're going to go 3v3. This is really not a position we want to be in. 3v3. We get an Elder Sign. Where was that last turn? So we get a clue. So that's good. I guess we do it again. 3v3. We get a skull. That is going to be -2. And we're going to go 3v3 again. We get a 0. Wow. So we got some very bad pulls last turn, and we got some better pulls this turn. Very lucky pulls. So we get that second clue. All right. We can advance Act 1A. So let's do that. We spent clues to advance. Choose an investigator to take control of the set-aside Adam Lynch. And we advance to Act Night at the Museum. So we go find Adam Lynch. And we advance to Night at the Museum. So we need to find the exhibit hall. That is the goal. We'll get rid of these 2 clues. And that's going to be the end of our turn. Okay. Nothing in the enemy phase. We draw a second 45 automatic, which we don't really need at the moment. We don't need that. We don't get that resource. It is turn 3. 2 doom of 5. Beyond the Veil. Right off the bat. So if our deck runs out of cards, we take 10 damage. Then we get Dark Bidding. Attach Dark Bidding to the Hunting Horror even if it is out of play. Dark Bidding remains attached to the Hunting Horror if it enters the void. When Hunting Horror attacks an investigator, that investigator must take 1 additional damage and 1 additional horror. Heal 2 damage from the Hunting Horror. Discard Dark Bidding once per attack. So we'll put the Dark Bidding here. to remind us that it is attached to the hunting horror. Or just a sec. Actually, that just whiffs. The hunting horror isn't in play. And it's not in the void, so that actually just whiffs. Okay. Whew. That's good. We could use a break after that horrible opening turn. Right. So we go to the investigation phase. We will gain our 3 actions. First action is going to be to move to the museum halls. 2 shroud location, 0 clues. And of course we can spend 1 clue in order to put the top card of the exhibit deck into play. We need some clues. Which is the easier way to go? Let's go to the administration building, or the administration office. Oh good, 1 shroud location. But you cannot investigate administration office while you have 4 or fewer resources. So we need 5 resources in order to investigate here. That's not good. So we will use our final action to gain a resource. And we will, that'll be our turn. We draw an astounding revelation, unfortunately. So that's not going to do us much good. It is turn 4. Mythos phase of turn 4, 3 of 5 doom. So we will see the hunting horror for the first time in 2 turns. We draw another new card, Oppressive Mists, attached to your location, limit 1 per location. After an investigator at this location draws 1 or more cards, that investigator must test 3 willpower. If that investigator fails, he or she chooses and discards an equal number of cards. We can take 2 actions to discard Oppressive Mists. All right. We have no plans to draw cards here because we just need to gain 2 resources. And then we're going to investigate. That's going to be our turn. 2 resources and investigate. We're going 3 versus 1. Chaos Bag says -3. That is a failure. I should have... damn it. I forgot to commit that to Astounding Revelation. Next time... nothing in the enemy phase. We draw Guts. Now, does this trigger this? After an investigator at this location draws 1 or more cards. It doesn't specify a time, so we do draw 1 of those cards. Chaos Bag gives us a 0, so we do pass 3 versus 3. Turn 5, 4 doom of 5. Well, the hunting horror shows up early. So he is going to hang out with us. All right. Get our 3 actions back. So we have to deal with the hunting horror. Which isn't bad, but I mean, he's just going to come back in 1 Mythos phase. So what do we do? I don't feel like getting hit by him. But I don't really feel like firing 2 shots at him either and putting him into the void, and then he's just going to come back. But Roland can't evade worth a damn, so I guess we fight. Not ideal, but I guess we are fighting. So let's we will use a resource off of an ammo off of the 45 automatic. So we are going 5v2 as our first action. We get a skull. That is a -4 if the hunting horror is at our location, so we fail. We will try again. That is an elder thing. What is with the chaos bag today? If you fail, discard an asset you control. Oh, damn. So not only do we fail to shoot the hunting horror by drawing a -5, but we have to discard our gun. Or we discard Adam Lynch. At which point we add a tablet to the game. Man, this game has just gone south fast. Do we discard Adam Lynch? That's the question. At least if we have the gun, we can try to kill the hunting horror next turn. Yeah, I'm afraid, Adam, you're going to go. We're going to add a tablet to the bag. I can't give up the gun. Usually they have a tablet, so we'll just add a card. All right, so tablet goes into the bag. We might as well shoot at the hunting horror one more time. 3v2. Chaos bag says, oh my god. Holy cow. What was that? -4, -5, -4? Is that what happened this turn? What was the skull? -5 or -5 or -4? Yeah. So this turn we took 3 shots at the hunting horror. We drew -4, -5, and -4. So the hunting horror, we missed the hunting horror 3 shots. And so during the enemy phase, he is going to attack us for a damage and a horror. Thank God that Dark Biddings isn't out, or we'd be in deep trouble. Investigation phase, we draw a vicious blow. That might be our saving grace, but we do have to trigger oppressive mists. We draw a -5, -4 for that. That's another skull, so we have to discard a card. Let's discard. Let's discard the Astounding Revelation. So we have a vicious blow, so we might be able to kill the hunting horror with 1 shot next turn. That is very timely. I should go get the void, actually. Well, I should go get the whatever that card is that attaches to the hunting horror. Nope. Okay, so we want to look at all cards. It is this one here. Okay, so we are going to advance. It is turn... No, we didn't advance. There we go. Turn 6, and we are advancing. So if the Hunting Horror is in play, add 1 Doom to it. And of course, the forced ability on the next agenda is considered to be active. So we add a Doom to the Hunting Horror. It is not in play, so we don't have to worry about that. But we do have to draw a card. We do have to draw an encounter card, which is going to be, oh geez, pile on the pain with a cursed luck. Now we're at -1. So even if we get a good vicious blow off, we're attacking at -1. Well, the first action, we are going to play Vicious Blow. And so we're going to go and we'll shoot with this, our last shot of the gun. So we're going 4, 5, 6 -1 is 5v2. 5v2. Chaos Bag says -2. Okay, the Chaos Bag decides to take its foot off her throat. So 5v2, that puts us at 3. So I believe we succeed by 1. So we get to discard that. The Hunting Horror is off to the void. And all right. We need to get another gun down. And preferably the disc as well. And preferably Dr. Ellie Horowitz, if possible. So we can go... We do have enough resources. Second action, let's play our other gun. And third action, we go for Ellie to maybe get our disc down. All right, we'll get Ellie down. Search top 9. Try to get the disc down so when the Hunting Horror returns, we can plink him a little bit. We do get a disc. We also get an enchanted blade. We have the choice of a disc or an enchanted blade. The disc deals 2 damage. What does this thing do again? The enchanted blade would be good too, though. I think we'll take the blade. While the disc is good, it's just 1 shot. It only hits once. Which isn't, we potentially need more than that. Alright, so Ellie has the enchanted blade. And that will be our turn. We draw... Oh, I didn't shuffle my deck. That's... there we go. And so we draw our internal injury. And we have to test for Oppressive Mist. I could spend the guts, or I could just discard the guts when I fail this skill test. So we'll discard the guts. We wouldn't have passed it anyway. All right. We go 1 of 7 doom. We haven't done anything this game. We draw stocked. Oh, man. Hunting Horror is in play. It readies, engages. Oh, I thought this one was the one that spawns the Hunting Horror. Stalked in the Dark does not spawn the Hunting Horror, so it just gains Surge. Then we get ephemeral exhibits. We test 3 intellect. Lose 1 action for each point we fail by. We're going 3v3. That is Occultist. That is -3. And if you fail, search the encounter deck, discard pile in the void for the Hunting Horror, and spawn it if able. Since the Hunting Horror enters play, we attach this nasty card to it, Shadow Spawned. Oh, man. And we lose 3 actions. Holy cow. So we have no actions this turn. If you want to watch a game go south in a hurry, this is it. We have oh man, and I needed the resources there to... I needed the resources in order to investigate this location, and we're just not... Oh, actually, we killed the Hunting Horror, right? We did, so we should have this clue. I'm forgetting Roland's signature ability here. We should have that clue. So we've got the clue. Now we just need to deal with the Hunting Horror again. Okay, well... And with no actions, because of ephemeral exhibits, we are going to take a damage and a horror from the Hunting Horror. We're going to take 1 damage from our signature weakness, and we're going to take another damage and horror from the Hunting Horror. We will pawn off the damage on, or the horror on Ellie. And that's going to be it. That was a quick turn. We get our 3rd segment. So we can get the Pendant of the Queen down now. We just need to play the segments. But we have a Hunting Horror to deal with first. 2 of 7 doom. And our encounter card is going to be Haunting Recollections. For each card in your hand, if there is a copy of that card in your discard pile, take 1 horror. If you take no horror from this card, from this effect, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. So we are discarding the top 3 cards of our deck, since none of these cards are in our discard pile. So we lose Roland's 38 Special, Dr. Henry Armitage, and our other copy of Dr. Ellie Horowitz. We do get some actions this turn, which is nice. We can shoot. We need to lose this other gun because we have... Oh, no, we don't. We don't lose this gun because Ellie's holding on to the blade for us. So I think we will have... We're still going to take a damage from our internal injury. There's nothing we can do about that. So we take a shot with the 45 automatic against the hunting horror. So we're going 5v3, 5v2. Chaos Bag says Elder Sign, that's a 0, since there are no clues at our location. So the hunting horror will take 2 damage. Then we can stab it with the enchanted blade. We get +1 for this attack. So we're going to go 5v3, 5v2 again. We're not going to power it up because we can save that for later. 5v2 again. That's a -4 due to the skull. And fighting this thing has turned into a marathon. We will do it again. We get a 0. Okay, thank goodness. So the hunting horror returns to the void, but he's going to get bigger next time. We take a damage due to our signature, due to internal injury. And we draw glory. We have to make a test. We need to test 3v3 for oppressive mists. We draw -2, so we have to discard a card. Man. I'm going to discard the disc. We want to keep glory because it's got intellect skill icons, which we'll need for investigating. It is turn 9 already. 3 of 7 doom. Our encounter card is another copy of Haunting Recollections. For each card in your hand. I don't think we have any cards in our hand that are in our discard pile. The only one that would be Glory, and it is not in our discard pile. So we have to discard the top 3 cards of our deck, which hastens our doom. There's Glory, there's Take the Initiative, and there's On the Hunt. So we're down to 8 cards in our deck, and we've done sweet F all this game. Beyond the Veil will kill us, unless we get we resign before then. And we simply haven't got the clues in order to... So, I guess we move back. First action, we move back to the museum halls. Let's play... We've got 3 resources, so let's play all of the segments. And get the Pendant of the Queen out. Those are fast, so we have 2 actions remaining. I have a feeling like the security office will be like, you need to have 5+ cards in your hand. So the pendant can get us clues and automatically evade enemies or move. So that's, I mean, that's amazing. That was why it was added to the taboo list. We have 2 actions remaining. Let's spend a clue to get our first exhibit hall location on the table. We're going to need a lot of luck at this point, I'm afraid. And then we will move. Exhibit hall, it is the medieval exhibit. 3 shroud location, 1 clue. After you file a skill test while investigating this location, we take a damage and it's worth a victory point. I believe we will use the pendant. I mean, I guess the good well, I mean, with the pendant, if we exhaust it, we can dump all the segments back into our deck, but with only 8 cards in our deck, I think Beyond the Veil is going to kill us long before we get the pendant out a second time. So let's grab a clue here. All right. And that's going to be our turn. We draw another copy of Astounding Revelation, unfortunately. So no help there. But we can... Okay, let me check something here. Okay, so here is a consideration. We have not drawn our weakness yet. We have 7 cards in our deck. We have not drawn our weakness. So what worries me is that we will draw our weakness, be unable to deal with the weakness, and then we will take, if Beyond the Veil kills us, we will take a mental and a physical trauma, which is not good. I forgot to take a damage from Beyond the internal injury too. We need to deal with that next turn. Honestly, I'm wondering if we just maybe resign. Like, the odds of us, we need to get through... Best case scenario, we find 3 clues and find the exhibit hall, or the what's it called? The restricted hall. Best case. We did get 1 victory point. That's not super good. It is the Mythos phase 4 of 7 Doom. Our encounter card is going to be Dark Bidding. Attach bidding to the Hunting Horror even if it is out of play. When it attacks us, we're going to take additional damage in Horror. And it gets better. So the Hunting Horror is getting a little stronger. We have 3 actions. The first action is to first 2 actions will be to get rid of internal injury, and the second action will be to move back to the museum halls. And that's our turn. We get a perception. Okay, so we've got Glory and Perception and Astounding Revelation. So we have a few intellect skill icons we can play around with. Our weakness is in the bottom 6. 5 of 7 Doom. It is turn 11. Encounter card is, oh, shite. I knew this one was in there. Oh, no. This could just kill us. Oh, no, it's not going to kill us. It won't kill us outright. Visions of Future Past. Test 5 willpower. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of your deck. It's not going to kill us outright since we have 6 cards in our deck, but it could very well put us in definite resign area. So let's draw a chaos token. We get an elder sign. Wow. So we take nothing. No, we lose 1. Because elder sign is +1 for each clue. There are no clues. So we lose 2. So we're 3v5, so we lose 2 cards. Cover up was on top. Okay. And we lose our other enchanted blade. Okay, so we're down to 4 cards. We are down to 4 cards in our deck. I think at this point, the writing is on the wall. So what we will do, I think, we've got 1 clue. If we spend that clue, move, grab the clue, move back. We will add 1 more doom. And then we can run back to the museum entrance and resign. So hopefully we get another victory point. I think that's all we can really hope for at this point. So let's spend our clue to get another museum exhibit. Hopefully it is a victory point location. We will move there. It is a victory point location. After we enter this location, we have to discard 2 cards from our hand. So we will discard Astounding Revelation, and doesn't really matter, I don't think. Perception is fine. We will trigger the pendant. So we can spend a charge. We have to exhaust the pendant. We will discover a clue here. And then, so we can actually, next turn we can use the pendant just to move back to we can use the pendant to move back to the museum entrance. So we can get out. The question is, okay, do we have time to try to snipe another victory point? We're going to go to 3 cards in our deck. Problem is, Visions of Futures Past could kill us, but that's a risk we're taking to gain a victory point. We get a Vicious Blow during the upkeep phase. It is turn 12, 6 of 7 Doom. We get Ephemeral Exhibits. Test 3 for each point you fail by. Lose 1 action. Man, well, we're going to commit the glory to that one. To go 5v3. 5v3 Chaos Bag says -5. Oh, man. So we lose all 3 actions. We have no actions next turn. We have 1, though. We can use the Ephemeral Exhibits. We can use the Ephemeral Exhibits to move back to the museum entrance. So we will do that. Thank goodness for the pendant, or we would probably die here. So we'll move back to the museum entrance. And that's our turn, unfortunately. We get another disc. But right now we are just trying to survive this Mythos phase. And then we will be... we will resign. So if the Hunting Horror is in play, add 1 Doom to it. If the Hunting Horror is not in play, we find it. Come here, buddy. So he spawns on us. So, and we use, since we are... So when the Hunting Horror enters play, we add a resource to Shadow Spawned. So what is the Hunting Horror right now? It is +1 fight, +1 health, and +1 evade. So it's 3, 4, 3, and then it gets, if it attacks us, it'll deal an additional damage and a horror. That's not good. 7 Doom. We've got 7 left. So we just need to survive this Mythos phase. As long as we can survive this Mythos phase, we can resign. We draw... Okay, Inexplicable Cold. Test for agility. For each point you fail by, you must either choose and discard 1 card from your play area or your hand, or take 1 damage. So, not... I think we can survive this. Actually, since we used the last pendant, we should have shuffled the segments back in. So we will do that. Pendant goes out of play. We need to test for agility. So we're going 2v4. So this gun shouldn't have any ammo on it. So if we fail badly, we can just discard everything. Chaos Bag says -2 and -3, and if we fail, we would have brought the Hunting Horror out again. But so we have to discard 4 cards from our play area or hand. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. We go to the investigation phase and we resign. That was bad. That was rough. So we entered the Miskatonic Museum, and we ended up getting 2 victory points and not a whole lot else. I think, man, the tenor of this game was set right off the bat when we played 2 practice makes perfects, and we drew a take the initiative and a perception. Unfortunately, we drew very bad chaos tokens. So not only did we fail the test, but we didn't get to pull those skills back to our hand in order to investigate again. That was a huge setback. We got delayed at the administration office by we had that very bad combat, and then we had the very bad combat against the Hunting Horror, in which we drew -4, -5, -4, and so we lost an entire turn there. And then we had to deal with the Hunting Horror again. So we had to deal with him twice. And then, of course, a third time here. And just to add a cherry on top to the pain that this scenario threw at us, we drew Beyond the Veil almost immediately. And then ended up discarding 6 cards off the top of our deck due to that one treachery. And so we only had a few cards left in our deck, and there was just no way. The card was Haunting Reflections. We discarded 6 cards due to that. So we just didn't have the cards left. And we still had, bare minimum, we had to find we had to go through another 2 locations. We needed to check at least 2 more exhibit halls, best case. Worst case, we would have had to check 4, and that was simply not going to happen given the circumstances on the board. So a very rough ride through the Miskatonic Museum for poor Roland here. The deck, I don't know, it's hard to say. I can't really blame the deck for this one, simply because we drew so badly on so many skill tests that we really got set back. We should have probably passed the first couple investigate checks. I mean, we're playing Astounding Revelation and whatnot. Our practice makes perfect. So the deck was doing what it's supposed to do. Unfortunately, we just ended up drawing a lot of really bad tokens from the bag, and that set us back. So not going to blame the deck for this one. We had a couple tough choices to make, whether to take the Enchanted Blade with Ellie or the disc. I think the disc works better with her because, of course, the disc you can, as soon as an enemy appears, you discard the disc, and then you can just use Ellie to soak. She's a little more challenging to use when you've got the blade, because you want to obviously keep the blade around, which means you can't really use her for her sanity soak. So that's something to keep in mind going forward. But yeah, so that is the Miskatonic Museum. That is your game of the day. I hope that you enjoyed this playthrough. I hope that you enjoyed watching me suffer a little bit. We make it out with 2 VPs, and we will, I guess we'll upgrade and head into return to the Essex County Express and see if we can't get a little better result in that one. I will be back tomorrow with another game of the day. I hope that you will join me then. In the meantime, why don't you head over to surveymonkey.com, fill out the survey, and let me know what investigators and scenarios you would like me to play. And I will do my best to bring those games to you. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this sort of content. It helps out the channel a great deal. Until tomorrow, I hope that you have a fantastic day and take care out there. That's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed what you hear, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you need to contact me, I can be reached at manfromlang@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter at manfromlang. Until the stars are right, keep your shotgun close and your elder sign closer. Take care out there, and happy investigating.